Hey, Ben Janke here with HomeVocal.com, and a lot of times I get questions from people looking to buy a house about buyer's agent and what a buyer agent is and what they do for you during the transaction and should you get one. Well, I put together some basic breakdown of what a buyer agent does in a typical transaction, and I probably left some things out, and it depends on the transaction and what's all involved with it and who owns the property, etc. But here's some basic stuff that a buyer's agent does or should be doing for you throughout the process. Analyze all of the property requirements. So if you have specific criteria, your buyer's agent should be able to put that together in some type of email autoresponder so you get updated on properties that are matching your criteria. And they should be researching the best properties and helping you zero in on that perfect property for you. Send you listings that meet your requirements, give you information about transferring and relocating, and helping you troubleshoot some of the times you may not match up a perfect time to maybe sell your house and buy a new one. So having some temporary buffer room in there could be important for you too. Educate you on the process up front so you kind of know what to look for. Supply you with information about the area, the schools, the employment, and more. Give you information about the jobs and where to find one if you're moving from out of town. Help you get started with number 8. Help you get started with your pre-approval, giving you good recommendation for good mortgage brokers or mortgage lenders. Help you make appointments to show the property. So rather than going to a listing agent, for 20 different properties, talking to 20 different agents, you can contact your one buyer's agent and they'll help you get those all scheduled, either with the owner or with, get you in there with the lockbox. Help you kind of, as you look at homes, it'll help you zero in on what is important to you and not important to you. So the next time you go out to look at properties, those next set of properties should be even more specific to what you're looking for exactly. A lot of people need help with their credit or questions about their credit, and that can be done through the mortgage broker, and the agent can help with that as well. When you want to make an offer on a property, obviously we're going to help you draft up that property offer, and also do some research on what that property is actually worth. Looking at the tax records, the actual square footage, pulling all that information up, and seeing what a similar property or similar properties have sold for in that area that you're looking at, so you're not overpaying for that property, and helping you get the best price on that. Get the disclosures on the property, number 18. I'm just going to touch on some of these on every single one because there's 50 of them. Explain all the paperwork before you sign it. Generate a net sheet. A net sheet would be what, with your closing costs and all that stuff, what you should be bringing into closing. And also a strategy on that is whether you're going to work those closing costs into your offer and have the seller pay for those, essentially, so you can finance your closing costs if that's important to you. Go through the whole contract, send the title company and the mortgage officer and the mortgage company all the executed contracts. Be following up with all of those, make sure they have everything as you go. Walk you through the process of getting an inspection and making sure those inspections repairs are done and complete, and making sure that's done on time. And a big part of closing on a home is making sure that, because time is of the essence in most agreements, you have a certain amount of time to get things done. You have, let's say 5 business days to get your inspection done. If you don't get it done within that time frame, then per the contract you've accepted the condition of the property, and you have to move forward. So also accounting for all of your earnest money and making sure that your earnest money is taken care of, and you have the proper contingencies written into that contract is very important. Making sure the appraisal's been ordered, helping you meet all the deadlines, making sure you have your property insurance set up. Usually that's done through the lender as well. Looking over as you get towards closing, looking over that closing statement to make sure that everything's accurate. They didn't put the wrong closing costs on your side when it should be on the seller's side, etc. And coordinating the release of the earnest money, getting you the keys, and following up with you after closing. So that's just some of the basic stuff that you'd be looking for when you're looking at having a buyer agent on your team. Now, buyer's agents typically don't charge you anything to use them as an agent, and they're paid by the seller through that listing commission. So everybody, there's thousands of different companies out there, obviously, so you have to check with each one, but that's typically how it works out. Now, with us, we don't charge an upfront fee or a retainer fee, and that is some people's business models, and it's a case-by-case basis, but you want to ask those questions, obviously, up front of how that buyer agent's getting paid. So yeah, that's it. I think just to give you an example, on my last transaction I did with a buyer, I looked at my communication with that buyer, text messages, emails, phone calls. I kind of have a log of all that stuff of how I coordinate that. I had over 200 pieces of communication with that buyer during that process of essentially 45 days. So obviously every buyer's agent is a little bit different in how they work and etc. But I think having a good buyer's agent on your team is very, very valuable, and it's something you don't want to skip on. Again, typically it's not going to cost you anything, and they're going to be representing you instead of representing the seller and you if you go right to the listing agent. So that's the kind of lowdown on buyer's agent. If you have any questions or comments, if I missed anything or anything you want to address, just comment below, and we'll try to answer those as we go. Thanks.